Let me give you some advice, Kumail. Love isn't easy. That's why they call it love.
I don't really get that.
I know. I thought I could just start saying something and something smart would come out.
Showalter said at the premiere that, one of the goals was to make it universal. Was it hard to sort of thread that balance of making it incredibly specific but also could appeal to everyone?
Not at all. Honestly, that didn't feel like a challenge so much. I do think, for me, like having a therapist background, that's part of what I always kind of tried to do was like, even though we haven't been through the same experiences, there's like a universal kind of emotion of sadness or of heartbreak or whatever that you can kind of access. And I think that's always how my brain works, is like, what's the underlying emotion? So that's a kind of thing we talked about a lot, is like, even if you haven't been through this experience, what would it feel like for you underneath all the specifics? And we just kind of kept those feelings in mind.
A lot of people will say, I was so moved for it, that really touched me, that's my story. And it could be, it's their story because of a relationship they've had, their story because they relate to the immigrant story, that he experiences, that they relate to, they've had a family member or a loved one be very sick and in the hospital, to the story of Kumail sort of choosing his career path and how scary that can be, especially something like comedy. There's no certificate or degree that you can get to go become a stand-up comedian. You just have to kind of go and try it out. So people will say that it was that they connected to it on a personal level.
It was always like, if we could tell the story very, very specifically, we won't have to worry about universality, because you have to trust that people know what it feels like to disappoint their parents. People know people have had people who've been sick. There's a lot of different ways to connect to the story.
Yeah.